Okay, this is going to be a review of the AEW 2020 pay-per-view. Pay-per-view was about 4 hours long. I believe it clocked in at 3 hours and 48 minutes, not including the pre-show. So first match of the night inside the actual ring, you had the Young Bucks taking on the Jurassic Express. And you know what? I was expecting a lot more out of this match. I really felt like, I don't know, the Young Bucks were just booked. You know, I think they're eventually going to be heels down the road. So you definitely saw a little bit of that come into play towards the end. I don't know, man. I just thought the Jungle Express. I felt like Jungle Boy just had a lot of momentum going into this match. I don't know. I was just expecting a lot more out of this, but Jungle Boy actually hit a nice, reverse Rana. There is they did the extinction level event spot. And man, it wasn't a bad match at all. I was just expecting something a little bit more. Also, like if you were expecting a Young Bucks match with a lot of offense, trying to steal the show, it really wasn't like that type of match. All right, so the next thing of the night was actually the Battle Royal, 21-man Battle Royal, when the winner gets a title shot. This was kind of a mess. I felt like this is something you could have put on the pre-show. I felt because, the other thing is I thought it made the main event a little bit too predictable. Like when you have a heel winning, especially a guy like Lance Archer, it's kind of like, you kind of know. It would only make sense for him to face Jon Moxley. So I felt like having this on the pay-per-view is probably not a good idea. But, on the bright side, you had a lot of talent here. I feel like if you've been keeping up with the indies over the last, 10 years or whatever, there really was a lot of good names out there. Like there really was. I'm not going to get into everybody, but the surprise of the match is actually Matt Sydal. So Matt Sydal comes out, does the shooting star press, and he just slips and falls on his face. I mean, I just kind of felt bad for him, but... also you had the whole stuff with Darby Allin, Taz's crew with Brian Cage. They put Brian Cage and Starks. They put Darby Allin in a body bag and tossed him out so that they continue building up that stuff. It came down to Eddie Kingston and Lance Archer. So I was really pulling for Eddie. I'm not the biggest Eddie Kingston fan, but it really would have been cool to see him get a title shot here, or to see him get a spotlight match where you could have, a video package and all that stuff down the road, but it wasn't meant to be. The Lance Archer decision kind of, I don't know, I just kind of felt it put a dark cloud over the show. Didn't he already get like a title shot or for Cody's television championship a couple months ago? I don't know, man. Just wasn't feeling it. But he was out there with Jake the Snake the rest of the show. Also you had, next up you had Matt Hardy actually taking on Sammy Guevara. And, this was more of a hardcore match, kind of, false count anywhere. Or I can't remember the exact stipulation. I'm just doing this review off the top of my head. The best way I could do the review is this way. But, man, unfortunate spot for Matt Hardy. He took a bump off of a, construction vehicle. I can't remember if it was a forklift or whatever. But when he hit the concrete, his head actually hit it. So they stopped the match, and then they restarted the match. And Sammy actually took a nasty bump off the scaffold with all the cables. That's how the match kind of ended. But it's reported that Matt Hardy actually did go to the hospital. But I don't know. Really, those kind of matches, especially right now, I just have like no interest in seeing matches like that anymore. They're very difficult to get into. I know a lot of people were expecting, this to be an awesome match, but it just didn't get the type of platform I think it needed. All right, next match tonight, you had Hikaru Shida taking on Thunder Rosa. So Thunder Rosa coming from the NWA, they had a Vosot of Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins. Really got me in the mood to listen to some Smashing Pumpkins songs. But yeah, Billy Corgan is actually running the NWA. That's pretty cool. But Thunder Rosa, a hell of a talent. A lot of ground and pound from her. She's very well versed in fighting. So you saw some great double leg takedowns. This was vicious though. This felt like more of a fight. Not a lot of finesse for a women's match. Just ground and pound. Just a really hard fought match. The Thunder Rosa actually did some nasty turnbuckle shots here where she was actually like stomping Hikaru Shida's head into the turnbuckle, and then Excalibur was like shades of Super Dragon right there. So that was cool. But Hikaru Shida, her offense looked pretty good at the end. She had a beautiful, shining wizard, knee right to the head to get the pinfall. Yeah, so she looked strong. For her to go over a talent outsider like that, I think it really elevated Hikaru Shida to the next level. Kind of the same way Iro Shirai has been elevated in recent months. So yeah, good stuff there. Okay, so next up we had I believe it was the 8-man tag. We had the 8-man tag featuring the Dark Order, Scorpio Sky, the Nightmare Connection, and you had Zack Ryder going by a different name now. And you know what? I feel like an 8-man tag like this, it could have been. I feel like either you open up the show with this or you just don't do it. I just feel like to put a match like this in the middle of a show, it just didn't belong in my opinion. But what it did do, it created some tension between Colt Cabana and Brody Lee. Brody actually set up Colt to get the victory. Colt Cabana goes for the moonsault, he misses it, and it ruins the whole match. And then they're fighting after the match. So they're kind of playing into the story where Colt Cabana hasn't truly bought in yet to turning heel and joining this Dark Order stable. But yeah, I mean, the match definitely had its moments though. Scorpio Sky looked good. Zack Ryder actually definitely looked like he was in great shape. My point is, I just feel like a tag match, like a multi-tag match like this, it just, I don't know, I just feel like it doesn't belong in the middle of a show like that. But next up, we actually had, all right, let's just get to the 3 main events. I think you had Kenny Omega and Adam Page defending the tag team championships against the FTR. I thought this was good, but not entirely great. The whole point of the match was to show dissension between Omega and Paige. FTR really kind of dominated this thing. They really took more of a methodical approach, a lot of ground and pound from them. Just good, smart offense from them, where they really just prevented a lot of tags, just vicious headbutts, just very old school offense from them. Eventually, they actually did hit a bulldog off the outside of the ring apron, which was pretty much as crazy as they got from an athletic standpoint. But a lot of their offense is just pretty basic. They actually hit a double pile driver, I believe, to end the match. But there was just a lot of, Omega and Paige getting in each other's way. I believe there was a slingshot where they hit each other. I believe Omega, when he hit the running knee, he hit Paige by accident. So, yeah, I mean, after the match was over, Omega was just upset. And, him and the Young Bucks kind of left the show in a limousine. So the FTR, yeah, kind of predictable that the FTR won. I'm not totally upset about it. I feel like you could get a lot more out of Omega in a singles, him being a single star than a tag team star. I mean, Omega, he's had some great, moments as a tag team wrestler, this match right here wasn't, I just wouldn't go into it expecting an explosive, Kenny Omega type of match. And, him and Adam Page, I do kind of feel like it's just kind of, the team just feels a little bit thrown together. They don't feel like a cohesive tag team at this point. All right, the next match of the night, you had Jericho taking on Orange Cassidy in the Mimosa Mayhem match. You know what? The match is a lot of fun, but the other problem with the match is people that don't follow the storyline and are just kind of just peeping in to see what the show's about, they're going to find this match kind of laughable. But looking back on it, you really have to know the storyline. You have to know the Orange Cassidy character. I mean, it really, honestly, I think it was pretty cool, because Jericho's drinking the champagne, the bubbly, and then Orange Cassidy, the whole thing with the orange juice, splashing onto Jericho. So I thought it was pretty cool. Looking back on it, I think Jericho losing here was kind of predictable. We've seen Jericho get humiliated in the past and not being a big deal. I'm sure it's happened a lot of times, but the time when Jericho and Christian got the towels taken off of them in front of the live Raw. I mean, Jericho is so multi-dimensional. He could get humiliated, and it's not that big of a deal. So it was pretty cool. You know, I like the fact that there was submissions and pinfalls. I thought it spiced the match up a little bit. I think it would have been a little bit too boring if both guys are trying to, you know, throw each other into the mimosa for the whole match. That would have been a little bit kind of weird. At first, I was like, why didn't they just make it, you know, just throwing the guy into the mimosa and just let it be? You know, I just felt like it was unnecessary to do the pinfalls and submission. But, you know, it did kind of, it kind of spiced it up a little bit. The match wasn't great. You know, I'm not a big fan of seeing Jericho as like the bully, working with a smaller guy. I'm just not used to it. I'm just so used to, I prefer the Jericho 2001, you know, where he's you know, has that me against the world attitude, you know. But yeah, man, I don't know. Good, you know, good stuff here. Entertaining finish. You know, they teased a razor's edge into the juice and everything. That was cool. You know, seeing Jericho go down. It was a good moment. It was a good moment for Orange Cassidy. I just felt a little bit bad for him. He had all these like "thank you Jericho" chants, and even Jericho seemed like he was getting annoyed by it. I just felt bad for Orange Cassidy. I just felt like, you know, I mean, the atmosphere to the show, I hate to say it, but I just felt like it was just bland. It was just kind of a. The atmosphere brought the show down, I think, more than anything. And I don't know, I just felt like they could have, it just felt like a lot of the fans that showed up, there wasn't many, but it just seemed like they didn't really, you know, there really wasn't a lot of getting behind Orange Cassidy. But yeah, you know, pretty entertaining match between both guys. Not great, but not bad at all. I think if you could appreciate the match, if you know the storyline. But like I said, though, I think some of the people that don't pay attention to it, they might find the match a little bit like funny, hilarious, whatever. But and then we have the main event. We had Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF, challenging Jon Moxley for the AEW Championship. I don't know, guys. I felt like this was a bland match. I felt like everything about this was bland. Positives and negatives. All right, so some of the positives were, I mean, there were some good moments of, there was some good slugfest here. I mean, there was some moments of, you know, both guys really going at it in terms of strikes. There was some pretty good strikes. I don't know, the blade job just, I don't know, didn't it seem like that blood was a little bit fake? I don't know. It just seemed a little bit too shiny for me. But, yeah, MJF actually did a blade job when he got slingshotted into the ring post. But eventually, Moxley actually hits the paradigm shift behind the referee's back while Wardlow is actually bitching on with the referee. But I don't know. It just kind of leaves you thinking, you know, maybe MJF is going to appeal the decision and fight it or whatever. But I don't know. The match is just a little bit too bland for me. See, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know. Like someone just said that you know, MJF proved against Jungle Boy that he was world champion material. The match with Jungle Boy was overrated. I think it was a good match. I think it was cool and everything. I thought it was really just a solid match on that show. But I don't know. I don't see how you could take a match like that and evaluate that MJF is ready to win the world championship. But I don't know. I was severely underwhelmed with MJF as the match progressed. I felt like a lot of his offense, it just you either was it maybe a fatigue or there was just a crispness missing from a little bit of the offense that was executed there. But it wasn't a bad main event. It's just, I don't know. It was just one of those main events. It just had a feeling where it just didn't feel like the championship really meant like that much. Like I just don't see a lot of people, like, I just got the feeling like I don't think people are gonna like be invested either way, you know. But yeah, you know, MJF finally loses, and you know, I was kind of glad that Moxley went over though. I think MJF showed a lot in the build up for this thing. I thought you know, he proved that he's a hell of a talent, but the match as a whole, I just didn't think it was anything special. But yeah, I think they made the right decision, and that's pretty much it. Overall, the pay-per-view was okay. I mean, it's just another one of those pay-per-views. just like SummerSlam, just like all the rest of these pandemic pay-per-views. I mean, they're okay. I mean, they're all right. I mean, I'm not going to lie and just come on here and say they're amazing shows. But yeah, that's AEW All Out. I will say I felt like the pay-per-view did have a lot of depth to it. There is a lot on here. There's a lot of solid stuff on here. It's just nothing. There's nothing on here that I would say was mind-blowing. And I don't know. I do feel like because of the length, it's really not that hard to deliver at least a good pay-per-view. I mean, everything got time on here, so there was really no excuse. But I don't know. I'm just a bigger fan of finding a way to make a shorter show have more, quality instead of just, letting everything run, a certain amount of time. And then when you add it all up, it's like, oh yeah, it wasn't that bad. But I don't know, guys. I don't think WWE or AEW, I don't think either company is really like, a step ahead of either one right now. So it is what it is. I hate saying that. It is what it is, but that's pretty much it. That's AEW All Out. I would say it's a solid show, but I don't think anyone's going to look back on this show and say, "Oh, it was amazing" or anything like that. But I don't know.